Hey, Chuck, you've been playing ball a long time, man, all the way back to '87. I think about that, and it's, just dating myself back, that's about the time when I was peaking at wheelchair racing,
Yeah.
and you're just coming into the sport as another hot young star. Think back to that time, '87. What was the game like back then, and how's it evolved?
Oh my gosh. For me, I had just before coming to Golden State, I had just come off of playing a little more community ball. So definitely the equipment, the training, just kind of the approach to the game. Like even back then, I can look back at even 10 years from today and how my training approach to it has evolved. But also there just seems to be a lot better athletes out here, younger athletes that are involved in the game. And so for me, it's we definitely would love to see the exposure better, but yeah.
Chuck, I think back to even maybe like the mid to late '90s, and the game was so much more methodical back then.
Yeah.
So the ball gets fed to the inside. Jimbo Miller gets the ball, and he just keeps putting it up until and the games are being scored 40 to 38.
Exactly.
And then comes Steve Welsh and Pat Anderson. Was that a quantum shift in the sport?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, Pat is phenomenal, and just seeing some of the stuff he was doing back then, I think was the model for especially amputee players in trying to figure out how to use their chair, use their body. I don't know if too many has gotten to that point of Pat, but yeah, that was definitely the shift in, I think, the athleticism of the game. It's definitely the chair has become just part of your body, and you can see it by the way guys are flying around, getting back up, and it's just you really don't see the chair as much. If you watch the game long enough, you see the player and not really the chair.
Precisely. Back then, you're playing in a box frame quickie.
Yeah.
You've got a multitude of straps trying to keep your legs held down. Now they have maximum camber chairs, super light aluminum chairs, ratchet down legs. I mean, there's so many improvements just technologically.
Yeah. Going back to '87, I mean, I was picking myself up off the floor to get into my chair when I fall. So, wasn't even really strapping, and not many people strapping at that time. And then, once we got into the a little bit later in the '80s, and then the fifth wheel comes in, and the sixth wheel comes in. That's where it just took off.
You've picked up 2 bronze medals in the Paralympics. You got one in Atlanta and another one in Sydney. Do you feel in some way, I mean, obviously those are stellar medals to have, but in any way, shape, and form, do you feel a little disappointed that you didn't make a gold medal? You didn't get to the top of the podium, or does your career feel good and complete?
Oh, my career feels good. I mean, obviously those were my goals at that time. It's no doubt. It wasn't just to make the podium. It was to win that gold medal. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. But I don't feel like there's anything that's missing other than that. But my international career, I'm proud of what I've accomplished on that, players that I played with, and the experience that went along with it. So, yeah, I mean.
So many MVPs, so many teams that you've led and worked with. How important is the mentorship to you?
Oh, it's very, very, very important. I mean, we have a great, back home, our program, the Bay Area Outreach Program, we have our juniors there, but even just players coming in. We have a couple of players that's come to our team in the last few years, and I know people are like, oh man, you're still around and playing, but that's part of it for me, is giving back and kind of mentoring some of these guys, some of the guys coming in, especially when you're just seeing raw talent and you really want to kind of help keep that going for, them and our game. So it's very important.
You've been involved in this game for more than 3 decades. So as you think back over that time period, who are some of the really, truly great players that you've played with and against?
Oh, wow. Well, obviously, this past national championship we won in 23, those 3 gentlemen, Matt Scott, Brian Bell, Jorge Sanchez were some great talent on our team that helped us accomplish that. I can't forget my running partner, Trooper Johnson, who, we both kind of started off. He probably started 1 year in his international before me, but definitely was a drive for me in playing that. And then, Melvin Jewett is one that is definitely kind of he's a brother for me and a mentor when I came in as well, even though we're fairly similar in age. But, Jimbo Miller, Dave Kiley, all these Hall of Fame great players are guys that I just kind of watched and tried to learn. That's
there's not too many people who go back into the sport as far as you do. And I'm thinking of some of the great coaches of the past, and you played under the great Frank Burns.
Yes.
What was Frank Burns like?
He was a character, with him and Dan. It took a while. Like I knew of Frank and have always wanted to play under him. I kind of heard some stuff, and then once he became, and I've heard that he was going to be part of that, one of the national team coaches there. The guy definitely, he knew his game, but he kept you loose too in the game and let you play. It wasn't real controlling of this and that. He understood the athletes that he had out there, but he let you play the game. When you messed up, he was on you. But just a character, just all out.
I knew Frank a little bit, dating back to '88. Yeah, he was a character.
And the thing is, like, you really kind of anticipate at training camps and come into practice what was going to happen at practice there, and it was between him and Dan, those two together.
With all these miles under your belt, how much longer can you keep this going?
It's getting close. It's definitely getting close.
But it's still fun for you.
It is, and it's. I love to compete. I'm always trying to win. So I'm having a great time. If the body holds up a little bit longer, I still have a little more time. But I'm definitely trying to keep it tuned.
I anticipate, having watched you, I see what you do a little bit. You try and get a little bit closer to that board. You play a little bit more in the key. You're not looking to run and gun so much with the ball anymore.
Yeah. I mean, our coach, Paul Jackson, he kind of has me around there whenever but when I have some of these younger guys out there like Brian Bell, I gotta push to keep up with try to keep up with him, or not be too many chair legs behind him. But I'm just enjoying it, trying to be aggressive, and enjoying the time I have left in the game.
And just bringing that up, watching guys like Brian and Trey, those guys are just magicians with the ball.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a pleasure playing with him these 3 years. It's just, sometimes you find yourself just kind of watching, just like, holy cow, man, he just did what he did. But he has such a great respect for the game, as well as myself. So it's been fun. It's been fun. I think we clicked really well during these 3 years, and I've really enjoyed playing with him.